So thank you so much, Bija, joining us from Italy, Polytechnic University. It's a wonderful possibility for us to have people from different domains and expertise, and that's the reason you're on board with us. The very purpose of VISO platform is to cause you narratives, sociological narratives, and different other narratives to bring updated knowledge on different domains and perspectives. That's the reason we've been trying to get in touch with different experts, and one of that expert, we are very much glad to have you once again, Bija, on this platform of RESO. And I would like to should have also mentioned the very topic of this discussion is like exploring novel foods, nutrition, sustainability, and safety for the future. It's a wonderful topic and a kind of a new topic for us, for our platform to cover. So we are very much glad to have you once again on this platform. And I would like to move on to my first question, which is going to be certainly a very important question. It says like, what are the novel foods? Why are they gaining attention in food industry?
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for the invitation, and now we can start. So novel foods are food products and food ingredients that have not been consumed within European Union before 15 May 1997 and fall in one or more of the categories, which are foods and food ingredients with a new or intentionally modified primary molecular structure, foods and food ingredients consisting of or isolated from microorganisms, fungi or algae, foods and food ingredients consisting of or isolated from plants, from animals, except for foods and food ingredients obtained by traditional breeding practices and having a history of safe food use. And in the last category, we have the foods and food ingredients to which a production process has been applied, not currently used, where that process has changed the nutritional value, the metabolism or level of undesirable substances. Well, in the last years, there is a gaining attention of the novel foods in the food industry due to their sustainability, innovative solutions, and with the world population expected to reach 10 billion people by 2050, there is also a growing need for alternative protein sources that require fewer resources and also with a reduction of the pressure on traditional agriculture. One example of the novel foods is edible insects, which have been approved by the European Food Safety Authority as novel foods, and there are 4 edible insects approved so far. The first one is the yellow mealworm, the mealworm, the lesser mealworm, the migratory locust, and the house cricket. Okay, that's all.
Thank you so much for letting us know what like novel foods, their concepts, and why and how they are gaining the attention of the crowd in the food industry. It's important for us to know this, though it's a new concept for people like us, but a kind of typology that you briefed us up is certainly a benefit for our audience. Now I would like to move on to my second question, certainly an important question. It says, how do edible insects, particularly house crickets, compose nutritionally to commit conventional proteins sources like meat or fish?
Well, edible insects are considered a nutritious alternative source compared to the traditional ones due to the high content of proteins, of vitamins, lipids, and essential macro and micronutrients. In fact, the protein content of edible insects ranges from 40 to 75%, which is higher than that of the animal-based and also plant-based protein source. Well, many provide satisfactory amounts of energy and protein, which meets the human the requirements for human regarding the amino acid content. Among edible insects, house crickets are mostly consumed worldwide, offering a high nutritional value that competes with that of the conventional proteins such as meat and fish. For example, crickets are rich in protein with levels ranging from 40 to 75% of the dry weight compared to the beef, which have a content of 26% or chicken 40% per 100 grams. Notably, crickets contain also all the essential amino acids, making them a complete protein source compared to other traditional protein sources like eggs and beef. In terms of fats, crickets naturally are rich in unsaturated fatty acids, which are beneficial for human health. And beyond macronutrients, these species are a valuable source of minerals, of vitamins, particularly potassium, phosphorus, and sodium. So the nutritional profile of these fishes is highly is rich and very healthy for consumers, for us. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much once again letting us know on this important area. Like it's like a shift we figure out conventional protein sources like meat and fish, and there's gonna be a shift. That's what I learned. Now I would like to move on to again an important question. Third question says, how does the environmental impact on novel foods compare to traditional food production?
Well, one of the main advantages of novel foods, particularly alternative proteins like edible insects, microalgae, is their significantly lower environmental footprint, as insects farming requires less land, water, and feed, while also producing fewer greenhouse gas emissions. For example, compared to the beef protein, insects farming needs only 23 liters of water compared to the beef protein, which requires only 100 liters of water per gram. Similarly, the land required per gram of beef protein is 8 to 14 times higher than for insects. Additionally, insects are much more efficient in biomass utilization. It means that we can eat almost 80% of the insect's body compared to 55% of chicken and pork, and only 40% for cattle. Another advantage of insect farming is the efficiency. Insects have an excellent feed conversion ratio, meaning that they require less, in contrast to cattle, which require from 6 to 8 kilograms of feed per kilogram of weight gain. And another sustainability advantage is that some insects can be reared on organic byproducts or food waste, which makes them an excellent option for circular production. For example, mealworm can be fed by products from baking or even from bioethanol production. Thank you.
It's an important dimension that you've talked about in environmental impact on novel foods comparing to traditional food production. Really an important domain and dimension that you've talked about. Would like to move on to my fourth question. Important question says, what are the safety concerns related to novel foods like edible insects, and how are they regulated?
Well, novel foods firstly have to be officially approved through the Novel Foods Authorization procedure before the introduction on the European market. As we well know, the safety evaluations are important for ensuring a safe product to the consumers, and also the regulatory frameworks ensure that they meet strict safety standards before entering the market. In the European Union, for example, all novel foods must undergo a strict approval process under the Novel Food Regulation number 83 of 2015. The European Food Safety Authority evaluates these products for potential risks, including allergenicity, microbiological hazards, the contamination with heavy metals or pesticides. Well, among these contaminants, major concerns are the heavy metals, cadmium, lead, mercury, which are regulated both in the food and also in the feed by the European Union's regulations and the amending regulations. According to the European Food Safety Authority, the concentration and the prevalence of these contaminants in insects significantly is dependent by the levels of these contaminants in the insect rearing substrate. So the methods we use for insect production and transformation are very important to reduce and to minimize the concentration of these contaminants. From a microbiological standpoint, insects naturally contain bacteria and fungi, but these risks, as I mentioned before, can be managed through proper processing methods such as heat treatment, drying, fermentation, also the strict hygiene and storing conditions and storage conditions throughout the production chain. Thank you. That's all.
And thank you so much, Beza, for letting us know on this important area. And this knowledge is certainly beneficial knowledge, I'm sure, that for our audience and the concerns related to novel foods. Would like to move on to my fifth question, the final wrap-up question. Important question says, what are the main challenges in making novel foods widely accepted by consumers?
Of the main challenges in making novel foods like edible insects widely accepted by consumers is overcoming consumer resistance, largely driven by food neophobia, which is the fear to try new and unfamiliar foods. This psychological barrier significantly influences people's willingness to adopt insect-based products. And to improve consumer acceptance, several key factors must be addressed. For example, firstly, the safety and transparency are very important. So consumers need clear science-based information about the safety, nutritional benefits, and sustainability of edible insects to build trust. Secondly, the production presentation is also very important. Research shows that while consumers may resist eating whole insects due to their appearance and texture, they are much more open to consuming insect-based ingredients when they are, for example, incorporated into familiar foods like pasta, bars, protein bars, or snacks. Or by incorporating insects into powders or flours. Finally, the taste and sensory appeal are crucial. While nutritional and environmental benefits are important, consumers choose food based on enjoyment. So improving the taste and texture and overall eating experience of insect-based products can further drive acceptance. And in summary, I can say that the successful integration of novel foods into the diets requires a combination of strategic product development, of education, and by addressing these factors, edible insects can become a widely accepted and sustainable protein source for the future. Thank you.
Peter, for joining us from Italy and talking this important area, I would say, a topic exploring novel foods, nutrition, sustainability, and safety for the future. You've talked about novel foods, their typology, and how they are gaining attentions in a kind of context. Edible insects, particularly house crickets, and compare nutritional and conventional food sources like meat and fish that you talked about, and environmental impacts of novel foods compared to traditional food system. And what are the safety concerns related to novel foods that you talked about? And finally, you've also talked about the main challenges making novel foods widely accepted by the consumers. Such a quantitative and qualitative large body of data you've shared with us. It's really important, and I'm sure that our audience would certainly draw a major chunk of benefits by listening to your perceptions, your thoughts, and theoretical backup that you've shared with us. It's such a wonderful possibility, Beza, that you've joined us from Italy Polytechnic University. We're very glad to have you on this platform. So as you're already familiar, a bit of brief up, I would like to let you know that RESO is a platform where we actually want to sort of step through the noise to cause you most relevant sociological interpretations and narratives in today's context to make it more valid and scientific information to move around, to disseminate it across the platform for various audience. That's the reason we keep conducting different national and international interviews on different topics. It may be human rights, climate change, and different expertise. It may be pure science, marine systems we've talked about, and today that we've covered food, novel food system. It's, I mean, the important topic that we've covered today. Thank you so much that you've joined us from Italy and given your precious time, ma'am.